Hi there, welcome to the RSS with HD with myself and my usual presenter, Harish Diol, who's, I hear you're looking a bit tired and you've got some body aches. Why is that?
Spending too much of time in the river.
Oh, finally got to go outdoors as well, are you?
Finally found a quiet spot along Sungai Chongka. Not much of a crowd, and had quite a lot of fun.
Well,
And
especially
then
Junior had a lot of fun, I guess.
Junior had a lot of fun, and the makan after that was even better.
There we go. All right.
We found a hidden gem in Hulu Langat. Yeah.
Well, you must tell me about it later on. Now, of course, I'd like to thank Amnig, our apparel sponsor, for the show. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification for the RSS with HD. And plus, we're going to have a whole lot of fun today because it's a sport that I'm very well aware of and very clued into, even though I play in the veteran side. And the guest that we have has caused a controversy in the past, but we're going to have him on. And let's welcome Marc Lee, former Malaysian international, to the show. Thanks, Marc, for coming and joining us on the RSS. Of course, Harish will do most of the grilling because I tend to be more of the the guy who comes in and snipes in as number 9.
Rashid, he's already adjusting his neck, all geared up. Yeah.
Gotta stretch before these big sessions,
So good luck to you, and of course, Harish, take it away.
Hi, Marc. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Oh, pleasure's all mine, mate. Pleasure's all mine.
Has it been a good week for you?
Yep, it's been a great week actually. Been busy. It's always busy. Next week, I'm hoping to kind of calm things a bit down because often when I get too busy, I tend to burn out pretty fast, or I tend to go into my reserve bank of energy, and so I just need to cool that down for maybe half a week, and then I'll be back on track.
Okay, let's have fun on this show. But on a more serious note, you left the national rugby team in 2018. It wasn't on a friendly note, I would say. You spoke about it on the show in 20 on August 6th. That's quite recent. Now, moving away from that whole episode, a lot has been written about it. You've said your piece. Do you think anything has changed since you leaving the national team?
Yep, I definitely think the national setup has changed. We've got a new coach on board, and we've got a new team management as well since 2018, and also some new faces in the team as well, which I guess that's all changed the environment and the team culture as well.
So you don't see, you do see it as it's not a wasted effort, although that you may no longer don the national jersey, but at least someone has heard you and someone has made the changes that you've been fighting for. Do you see it that way?
Yeah, I do. The team environment has changed a lot from 2018, but that just comes down to different coaching and different methods. But also, I think some things need to change in the development processes of rugby in Malaysia, and also the I guess how the game's played in Malaysia is crucial as well. It's no good trying to just change the national team when in fact it's every other thing below that needs to change as well to make the national team stronger. You could look at it like you're trying to grow a plant. You need good soil. You need to water it. You need to make sure that the right environment of sun and shade before the plant actually sprouts up. So that's kind of what you need with the national team. You need all that development processes in place first before you actually get a really strong team.
And when you speak about that whole process of nurturing a plant, there's also a fertilizer called professionalism. Now, professionalism is a word that we hear quite a lot, especially in the Malaysian sports context. People throw at it, people throw the word around. We see in football, we see in rugby, we see in across the board. And in fact, beyond sports, to be honest, But do people really know what the word really means?
Well, I think everyone's got their own interpretation of the word and professionalism, you know.
Quite sad, isn't it? Because it's only it's a very simple word, but yet everyone has got their own interpretation about it.
Well, yeah, yes and no. I guess you can only live up to the stand. You can only live up to the standards that you know or have been shown. You know, I live by a great methodology, which is you only know what you know. You know, unless someone else shows you something different, then you're not going to know any different. So, or if you go outside your learning environment and try learn from external factors, then you're actually being proactive about your professionalism or learning abilities. I think, yeah, like I said, everyone's got their own interpretation of professionalism. Mine might be very different from someone else's. But there are definitely professional athletes out there that take the word very seriously. And it's just, I guess, when you put it into a team environment, that can also be different as well.
There's another word I would like to throw at you. Discipline.
Discipline.
Actually, before you go there, what's your definition of professionalism?
Within rugby?
Yeah, within your sport.
Rugby, life, rugby and life.
Career,
yeah. Well, for me it's more of a lifestyle that goes professionalism and discipline. They go hand in hand. To be disciplined means that you will be professional, and it is just it's a sum of being disciplined. When you're professional in my working environment, you know, there's boundaries that you can't cross. For example, being a personal trainer, there's, let's just say, something that was quite controversial recently is that some personal trainers have been showing exercises by touching their client's body parts. Which I
saw that. I saw that. That was not cool at all.
That was in Singapore. That's in Singapore, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that was that clown was really, I'm sorry to say this, but that clown needs to be, God knows, you put on a rugby field and Mark, you just tackle him. Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
The poor girl, I feel for her, man. This poor thing. Yeah.
And the worst thing for me about that is that, for example, if this girl it's her first, let's just say it's her first time with a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Going back to what I said, you don't know what you know. So if someone's touching you and it's the first time doing it, you're like, oh, this must be normal. Every personal trainer must do this. So for that to come about, I think it's terrible. And there's just a boundary there. A personal trainer should never ever cross. Coaches should never ever cross. You know, whether that be you're coaching little kids, you're coaching athletes at any level. You should never cross that boundary. So that's one act of professionalism. Discipline, for me, the biggest part of discipline is kind of like eating and training. I probably, if I had to be honest, I could probably put a little bit more discipline into other factors of my life, like studying. I could probably study a little bit more than I should, reading books. I'm not a huge reader though. I'd rather listen to things and learn in that manner, or either attend a webinar or attend a function or event where I can learn something. That's just, everyone's got different styles of learning as well. But yeah, discipline within eating and training is huge for me, and then that will lead on to, I guess, being a professional athlete.
But when you talk about disciplines, for some people it's the lack of motivation, and it's quite apparent, because regardless if they have a specific diet routine or a workout routine, you know, they do it for a week, two, and then it goes back to normalcy. You know, so what are your thoughts about? You know, you're a trainer now. I'm sure you've come across such situations whereby you've got clients who go like, okay, I want to be like Marc. And after a week later, go like, it's too difficult, you know. I need my nasi kandar. Yeah,
that's correct. And nasi lemak is a big one too.
Yeah. Every nasi on the menu, but yeah,
it's one. In Malaysia, you got the best food available. Don't get me wrong. I love the food more than anything around here. So it's a huge factor. But for me, it's finding out the why. Like, why do you want to become fit? Some of my most motivated clients, it's actually a life or death situation. If I don't change the way that I eat or train, then I could actually die, or I could actually become very, very unhealthy.
Yeah.
And when your why is stronger than your want, then you'll always be disciplined, because you'll always bring yourself back to remembering why you want to do something and why you need to be disciplined to achieve that goal. So why versus want is a huge one. And also for me as a coach, when it comes to things like that, everyone has the ability to do it. It's just I kind of like try to keep them accountable, which, to be honest, I'm still trying to, because everyone's motivated differently. So you have to find ways to motivate your client or your athlete in a different way as well. So finding out a person's why is so important. That's one of the first things I do when I sit down with someone. Why do you want to make a change in your life? Why do you want to become a faster individual? Why do you want to become better? Why do you want to become stronger? So when I find that out, I can usually find what drives them.
What are the common reasons to when you ask such questions to your clients? What are the common one thing that they would say? Is it just losing weight? Is it looking like so that they can have a chisel body, or is there a specific motivation that you see commonly among your clients?
Yeah, weight loss is a huge one. I'd say that's probably number one.
Okay.
And then for my athletes, it's usually they want to get to the next level of fitness, next level of, I guess, professionalism. They see they see what I'm capable of. And so I try to instill not only like the fitness knowledge, but also the mindset knowledge. I do a lot of kids as well. I coach a lot of kids. So I try and mentor them in a way where they can have a good mindset, disciplined mindset, motivated mindset to take on life. Because I believe that when you have that type of mindset, you can apply that to all facets of life, job, family, not just sport and fitness.
But before you instill that mindset into someone, they have to embrace fitness as a lifestyle.
100%, and I can usually tell straight away
whether that person is has embraced it or not. Correct?
Yeah. Well, most of the time people don't come see me unless they're pretty serious about making a change. And a lot of the time, people that do want to make, like, are kind of like sitting on the fence. Then it's just about educating them or trying to ask the right questions to find out why it is that they want to make a change.
So sorry, as you were saying?
No,
actually, I wanted to ask you this because I know that a lot of trainers find this very annoying, but I need to hear this from you. Don't you find it annoying when someone comes up to you and say, "Hey, you're too expensive," with either a box of cigarettes in their hand or an overpriced mocha latte?
You know what's funny? No one's ever said that to me.
Never, yeah? You're blessed.
No one's ever said that to me, so I'm very lucky.
But what do you say?
I think
you spend a lot of money on cigarettes and overpriced mocha, but not on a healthy lifestyle.
This is what I say. Yeah. Most people that say that, I just say to them, like, they might not have an expensive product in their hand, but I'll just say to them this. I'll say, okay, first thing, you got to be proactive rather than reactive. Okay. So by being proactive, you're going to spend money on me to change your lifestyle. Now, let's just say, for example, you came down with cancer. All right. How much money are you willing to spend so that you don't have cancer anymore?
Yeah.
Well,
you'd sell everything. You'd sell everything in your house to know that you won't have cancer anymore, or to try to cure it, or whatever kind of disability you may have. So I always say, well, why not spend that money now and lead a healthier lifestyle so that you may not have these types of issues in the future? Diabetes is a huge one. Malaysia's #1 in diabetes in all of Asia. So, you know, if we can spend a little bit of money to help exercise ourselves and eat healthier, you know, people will often look, and I get it as well, like people, nasi lemak, they cost 2 ringgit. You know, whereas if you go to a cafe where you might have to eat a healthier meal, it's going to be more expensive. But there's ways around that. You can cook at home. You can order. I love Mamak. Mamak is like my favorite restaurant because everything's so cheap, and so I can. But it's about education around eating the right types of food so that you don't, I guess, put on so much weight.
Rashid, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, well, actually, the reason that people don't say anything about his price probably is not charging enough. Anyway.
That's actually something I've been thinking about recently. I'm like, maybe I need to increase my prices because I firmly believe in the product that I offer, and I guess at the same time I'm very new to Malaysia. You may know this. I've only been in the country for about a year and a half living, so I'm still new to the environment. By no means am I an expert around here, but I'm still feeling out the market and also seeing what they are willing to, I guess, spend and what kind of product what kind of niche product I offer.
But having now tasted within a year and a half of what life is, you know, settling down here, you would agree that a lot of us play sports, but we've got no sports culture.
You've got a great football culture.
Football fan, yes, you know, passionate about it, speak a lot about it on social media, but actually physically, literally kicking a ball, you know, you don't really see that. You know, a lot of people wear Liverpool or Manchester United jerseys, but when you ask them to, hey, let's kick a ball at the field, and they go like, it's too much of a problem, too much of a hassle. What are your thoughts?
Look, I think that comes down from a very, very young age of not being active. You know, that's a cultural thing. It's something I've realized in the last year and a half. Culturally, so different from where I grew up, which is in New Zealand. You know, and also it's the age that we're in. We're in a very technological age where it's quite cool to just sit on your phone and be on Instagram or like be on your phone and be on Facebook, and you can have access to YouTube off your phone. You can learn how to kick a ball, you know, how to play football, and you can play it on your PlayStation. So very technologically advanced age where kids don't need to be outside, and also it's hot outside in Malaysia. These are all cultural factors as well. You know, it's hot in Malaysia. People don't want to be outside. It's too hot. But I think we need to, as parents, you need to be able to push kids outside and really get them to be more active. And that actually comes down to the parent. I think the parents need to be more active themselves. And look, as a fact, Malaysia is the number one. Here we go. Another fact that Malaysia is also the number one obese country in all of Asia. So that means people are not getting out and about. People are not exercising. So most kids look up to their parents. So if they see their parents getting up and going for hikes or like playing sport, then they'll want to do the same thing. So it just is a product of years and years of not doing things, I guess.
Marc, but how do we change this? How do we address this? Because as you rightly pointed out, weather plays a crucial role. You know, in New Zealand, the culture is pretty much like in Australia. You've got a lot of open spaces, and you know, being fit is part and parcel of life. But here, it's more of like a luxury. It's like, I want to run so that I can take an Instagram post and, you know, show it to the world. Yeah. You know, I want to flex a muscle and go to the gym so that, you know, I can look cool. But it's not, they're not doing it for themselves. So how do we change this? It's not going to be overnight, granted. But how do we change this? We've got to start from somewhere.
I think access to more parks, you know, better parks around, better public parks. I think that's crucial. More open fields. I mean, just coming from a rugby perspective, at the moment, it's very hard to find games because there aren't that many rugby fields around. And if I mean, if there aren't that many rugby fields around, then there can't be that many fields around in general, right? So having access to public parks where people can run around, people can have access to, like, you know, those workout machines that you can get at parks? Yeah, like access to that, so it's free. With food, maybe a, you know, less tax on healthier foods. These are just ideas. Like the government maybe should cut down promotion on big multinational corporations like, you know, McDonald's or KFC. Obviously, that's very hard because you know, you read about all the propaganda behind it, and they pay the bills at the end of the day. So I think it's just about the principles around food, principles around fitness, schools, education around fitness at schools. Now, that's just, you know, I don't grow up here or go to school here, but if you, I guess, spend more money and time and effort trying to promote a healthier lifestyle, then maybe more kids will be healthier when they're adults. You know, that's when you have to catch them. That's when, you know, you have to start them young so that they continue that kind of habit and that kind of lifestyle as they get older.
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, we are a society whereby a teh o kosong without sugar is priced the same as a teh o with sugar. But that's less ingredient and a healthier option, but yet it's priced the same. You see, it's the same with mihun goreng. You put an ayam there, it seems to be cheaper than putting more vegetable in it. Anyway, that aside, you spoke about fields. Sorry, Rashid, I need to ask Mark this.
No,
you spoke about rugby fields, correct? There seems to be this fixation of, you know, us building, as in the country building a rugby stadium using taxpayers' money. What are your thoughts? Because this game is not as popular or as big as football, for example. It's not widely played as football, for example. The schools, only the boarding schools are really active. The other schools, I mean, just name a school in Kuala Lumpur and you struggle to find a proper rugby playing school in Kuala Lumpur. But if you empower the academies to set up their own mini stadiums, wouldn't that be a better option commercially and in every other sense? What are your thoughts?
I think I don't think you need a specific rugby stadium. I think there are a lot of good, like Bukit there's a stadium used for all sports, you know, football and rugby aside. So I think that money could probably be used, like you said, to empower local rugby clubs. But once again, there's that very fine line. Like, you can't use taxpayers' money to empower local rugby clubs. That's why maybe they see
no, but Mark, I think so. Sorry, Mark, but I think that you can. If you're going to spend millions on just one structure, why not the same money you know pass it around to these academies so that you'll have multiple structures nationwide?
I think, like you said, taxpayers, so the general public might see the general. I believe the general public will see more benefit in one structure for a sport because they're like, okay, cool, we've got a product here, we can actually see it and we can use it. If you gave that money, taxpayers' money, to local clubs, then they'd say, well, how come we don't give it to badminton? How come we don't give it to Taekwondo? How come we don't give it to all the other sports available? You know, and then there could be that whole, there could be a lot of controversy around that. So I think there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of money that could be pushed around. You know, there's a lot of businesses out there that can sponsor local clubs. It's just about those local clubs trying to build that connection and that relationship with the businesses, especially coming from, you know, the top, which is the Malaysian Rugby Union.
Okay.
Interesting.
One last question.
Yeah, go for it. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Keep going.
Just one last question. Do you miss playing for the national team?
Oh, look, I would have played for the national team this year if it wasn't due to COVID. I played for them last year, and it was bloody awesome. I love playing under Coach Brad. I love playing with the boys. The boys involved in the team. I love trying to instill what I've learned as well. I think as you get older, you tend to take more of a coach, not a coaching role, but a mentoring role. And that's something that I've always held pretty dear to my heart, because when I first started out as a professional, there were two key players that really took me under their wing and and guided me towards professionalism and how to become a professional. So if it wasn't for these two doing the extras, they didn't have to, help me out. And I remember one thing that one of the guys said to me. He said, "Look, I don't ask for anything, bro. All I ask is for you to do the same when you get to my age." So, that's all I can ask. That's all I'm doing now. I'm just instilling and helping out the next generation and hoping that when they get to my age, they'll do something similar.
Can we know who are these two fine gentlemen who told you that? Who's mentoring you?
When I first made a professional, I played for a team called Rico Black Rams, and two players there named Tamati Ellison and Roy Kinikini Lau. They really helped me, grow and develop as a professional player, because I'd never been in that type of environment before, and they really helped me out.
Awesome. See, not so painful, right?
No, really. Well, is that already 25 minutes? Oh,
27. More
27.
Fast, man. We could keep talking.
No, well, I got a final question though. So what's the latest on your venture at the moment? I mean, obviously, it's COVID-19 has put a damper on a lot of people's plans, but moving forward, the next, till the end of the year at least, what are your plans?
Professionally, my plans are to just keep coaching. So I do a lot of things. I do rugby coaching. I'm a RDO at KL Tigers. I help coach their top squad as well. And also I do rugby clinics around KL, which will be kickstarting hopefully by the end of this month or beginning of September. I'm hoping to kickstart that now that the RMCO conditions are relaxed a little bit more. Let's hope everyone follows the procedures with that. And also personal training still, that's relatively new to me. I feel like I've always been coaching even throughout my career, but when you put things into a more, specific manner on how to lose weight and how to gain muscle, the dynamics change a lot. You definitely have to upskill yourself into knowledge. And personally, I am looking to get back to Australia as soon as I can for a holiday, because I haven't seen my fiance in around about 5 months, I guess. And I'm not holding my breath anytime soon, which really sucks. It's difficult times for everyone, and we just try to keep looking on the positive side, which is there are probably people in worse off situations.
That's true.
Marc, if someone wants to sign up or be your client, how can they do so?
You can get hold of me through Instagram if you like, or you also email me at info@theacademy.my. I'm more than willing to help you guys out, whether it's through a normal chit chat or whether it's through health and fitness. Always willing to help out.
Cool.
There you go. You got the number, Harish. So remember to, or you can just call him straight, Harish. Just let me know.
Yeah, you got my details, bro.
They can put him under pressure again.
Hey, man, all right, I'll give you guys a discount, a group fitness discount for the two of you.
I'll stick to going back to Cobra with the veterans. We've got more relaxed. At least we're still on the field anyway. But thank you very much, Marc, for joining us on the RSS with HC. For those of you out there, don't forget to turn on the notification and subscribe to the show. A big thank you, of course, to Amnig, our apparel sponsor. And we hope to catch you again for the next edition of the RSS with HC. Thanks again, Marc.
Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.